Hello students, welcome to Competitive Exam Library YouTube channel. Today we are going to see what is the meaning of the electric shock. Okay, so what is the meaning of electric shock? So what are the precautions to be taken to avoid this electric shock? So first of all, understand what is the meaning of this electric shock. So electric shock means when a person, okay, or anybody, when a person in contact with live wire, when a person in contact with the live wire, he will experiences a shock, that is called as the electric shock. So whenever you touch the live parts of any electrical system, you are going to face or you are going to experience a electric shock here. So this severity of shock, okay, severity, how much of shock will be there, will be depends upon the voltage level, okay, the voltage level as well as the body resistance. So how much of resistance will be there for the body, that is the human body. Actually human body will have different resistances at different conditions. Different resistances are different. We will see what is the conditions and what is the level. So and the normally we will have the voltage levels. So if you observe the voltage levels, so voltage levels will be given for domestic purpose. So when you observe the domestic purpose, actually it is 230 volts, okay, and for large consumers, it may gives to 400 volts, like that. Depending upon their requirement, they will give the voltage levels. But severe shock, okay, so whenever the shock was very severe, it may cause the death also, death or cardiac arrest. It may cause the cardiac arrest also, depending upon the level what the shock is faced. And what is the level, okay, level can withstand by the body, level can withstand by human body, any human body. So will be given by the range only up to 25 milliseconds, okay, that is the time period 25 milliseconds up to 30 milliamperes only he can withstand, that's all he can withstand. Beyond this 30 milliamperes also it will goes, definitely he will face or he will get a severe shock, and it may causes to damage of their bones, or it may causes to cardiac arrest also. So we cannot expect the severity of the shock, and the parts it may be damaged wherever he got the electric shock. So I already told, depending upon the body conditions, okay, body resistance. So body resistance will have different resistances at different conditions. During the wet conditions, the body will have, we can say, 1000 ohms, okay. So and if the body is neither wet or nor dry conditions, it may have some 5000 resistances. So whenever your body is having high resistances, it will allow very less amount of current, that is what we have shown here, 30 milliamperes. That's why, so during the wet conditions it is having less resistance, but during the dry conditions it is having 5000 resistance. That's why during wet conditions the severity of the shock will be very high for the human body. So normally if you have the mild shocks, no problem, so it will cause some nervousness, okay, so nervousness it will causes. But when you have the severe shocks, when you see the severe shock, it may causes to damage of the bones, okay, next it may damages to some parts of the human body, and it may causes to cardiac arrest also. So it will be happen, that will depends upon the shock what he is experienced. So what is the precautions to be taken? So what is the precautions to be taken to to separate the person, to separate the person from electric shock. What is the precautions to be taken? So if you observe, what are the precautions to be taken to avoid this electric shock? When the person faced the electric shock, first we have to don't touch that person. Okay, don't touch the person, because he may contact still in with the live wire. Next, what you have to do, immediately shut off the supply, immediately shut off the supply. Or if it is not possible to shut off the supply, what you have to do is separate the victim. Okay, separate victim from supply with insulating materials, supply with insulating materials like rubber or insulating material like wood. Okay, so these are called insulators. So insulating materials like rubber, wood, with that you separate that victim person so that he can separate from the live wires. Next, after that, if the severity of the shock is more, give the artificial breath also, artificial breathe with mouth or something you can give, so that you can protect the health of the victim. So these are the things you have to do. And what are the precautions? Okay, what are the precautions to be taken to avoid the electric shock? Avoid the electric shock. So if you face the electric shock, or what you have to avoid the electric shocks, what you have to do to avoid the electric shock, we have to do proper earthing. So first you have to provide the proper earthing to be provided. Okay, and the resistance of this earthing should not exceed to 3 to 5 ohms. Okay, because always the current will prefers the low resistance path, we are already know, that's why we are providing the earthing. I will explain what is the purpose of earthing and what are the types of earthing also we will see. Next, cover the all the sockets. Okay, all the sockets with caps, with caps, proper caps, so that you can avoid the electric shock also. Next, one more thing is, don't place electrical equipment. Okay, electrical equipment should not place the near to water, near to water, don't place it. Okay, don't do this. Okay, next is, don't touch the wire. Okay, don't touch the wire with wet hands, with wet hands. So during the wet hand conditions, our body resistance will be decreases, so that it can allow the more amount of current. So don't touch the electric wires with the wet hand. Next, whenever you are doing some electrical work, use slippers. Okay, that is insulating materials, and the rubber mats. Okay, while we are doing the laboratory, we will use the rubber mats, and the wooden board, wooden board. So like this, if we use the insulating materials, so that you can avoid the electric shocks. And one more thing is, so be active. Okay, be active when you wear the when you wear the metallic casing, earth conductors, next cross arms. So be active whenever you are dealing with this. So when you wear some metallic designs or metallic things, it should be very active, as well as the earth conductor, as well as the cross arms. That means whenever you have the cross arm like this, you can protect from the electric shock. So what you can do, the first aid, here I am showing the first aid. So you have to give some first aid conditions here. So you provide the victim, have the air should be provided for the victim, free air. Then you give some artificial breathing. This method is called as the artificial breathing. So Another thing is you can give from through the mouth also, or some artificial equipments will be there which is providing the breathing for that person. So like that also you can provide the artificial breathing. So these are the precautions and these are the types to be you can protect the victim from the electric shock. Okay, so that's all in this video. In the next video we will see what are the earthing systems, what is the necessary to provide the earthing system, and what are the different types of earthing system. At last we will see the protecting devices like fuse and MCB. Thank you very much. If you are seeing first time this channel, please like, share and subscribe the channel, and if you have any